cord cutting. Normally, at this time of year, I do a cord cutting ceremony, which is about family. Because every holiday season, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, it's an intense time. You know, like, you know, there's like for me, I'm an adult. I'm a middle-aged adult running my own life, my own career. I've raised my own family. I have friends and peers who respect me. And then I go home, and my brother and sister are there, and suddenly we three middle-aged kids are acting like children. My brother and sister are teasing me. My brother's threatening to chase me with a spider. Everything my sister says, I react to, even though if someone else had said it, I'd go, oh, that's really great. My sister says it and I get mad. You know, like everything we say or do, we're not just seeing each other in the current moment. We're responding and reacting to an entire life history. So if I say pass the salt, seemingly innocent, my sister or brother may be responding to the thousands of times I've asked them to pass the salt in the past, or refuse to pass it to them, or whatever. It's like we're so embroiled in all of the memories, the traditions, the reactions, the rejections, the everything, that it becomes easy to not be in the current moment with the people as they are at this time in their life, not as they were long ago. So normally when I do a cord cutting ceremony, it's to help everyone go into the holiday season feeling really good about everything and meeting in the here and now. And even if like you're not seeing your family for the holidays, which can be they're not alive anymore, or you're at another part of the world, or you are purposefully remaining distant from them, or this year because of COVID, emotionally, we're still meeting with them. You know, memories have a tendency to come up and represent themselves for this holiday time. So it gives us a chance to release all of the past, you know, unresolved or no longer appreciated connections, and enjoy the current moment for what it is in the here and now. Normally when I do this cord cutting, I do it like the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And this year I was making my calendar, and my buddies, the librarians of the Akashic Records, came down. They're like, no, you need to do it on this day. I was like, that's kind of early. Like by the time we finish cutting all the cords, when we get to the actual holiday, those cords will already be like corrupted again. Like we want everyone to be, they'll have to watch the video again. Like, no, we do it the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And the librarians are like, not this year, not this year. And I was like, I don't know what they're on about, but I know to trust them. And what happens? Right now, we have so much raw and open emotion all across our nation. If there's ever a time we need cord cutting, it's now. It's now, so that we as a country can go forward in peace and in harmony and healing, you know, so that we can greet our friends or former friends, because they have different political beliefs than us, and become friends again, if that's where the present moment is at. As I said earlier, the collective that visited with us and spoke to us last Wednesday were very clear. What you have inside you is the energy that will go out to others. If you are carrying pain and anxiety and terror inside of you, and you wish to go and do a great healing, it's not going to be very effective. Even if you manage to keep all of your, trauma bottled up and only send out healing energy, it's going to be weak at best. They were clear. You fill yourself completely with love, and you make sure that you love and admire and appreciate yourself completely. Then when you send out healing energy, it's powerful and has an effect. So one way that we can do this is through cord cutting. And those of you who've worked with me before know I don't actually care for the term cord cutting. I prefer cord cleansing, because you're not cutting all the cords. What you're doing is you are amplifying the love, and everything below love has the choice to either become love or return to the person that it is supposed to be connected to. I work often with families and with romantic couples who do cord cutting ceremonies. I've worked with romantic couples who will do cord cutting ceremonies every week. At the end of the work week, Friday night, they do their cord cutting ceremony. Oh, hi, Amar. Hi, Leanne. Hi, Sandra. So every Friday night, the week work's over, they sit down facing each other and they do a formal cord cutting ceremony. And what they're doing is they're releasing everything below love so that they can go into their weekend with only love, and love amplified, love purified, love powered up. That's the effect of a cord cutting ceremony. When you have any relationship with a person, it can even be a person you don't know, there's an energetic connection between you. This connection is not necessarily the same both ways. I may be connected with someone where they feel exhausted when they're around me, and I feel empowered, overjoyed when I'm with them. Being with me is probably not good for them because somehow I'm sucking all their energy. But being with them is good for me because I feel great. So if they do a cord cutting ceremony, or if we do one, what will happen is everything that's bad for them will sever, because sucking someone's power isn't love. That's, greed. And if we do the cord cutting ceremony and all that's left is my joy of being connected with them, they may have nothing to me left. They may go, wow, I literally have nothing to do with you. So I think it's best if I don't have anything to do with you, and go on their way. I can still send love to them or feel good about it. I mean, honestly, if it had to be the same both ways, movie stars and influencers would have trouble, right? And when you do a cord cleansing ceremony, which we will do, you look at the cords, because every relationship has a unique energetic bond. This cord may look like gardens flowing between you, or it may look like a cord of poison, a vine of poison ivy. It may look different between you and the other person, but today you're doing your own. This is all about what's good for you. And if it's good for you, then you're sending good out. If you cut everything that's bad for you, you are releasing toxic energy that will also be better for the other one. But when you are no longer encumbered by the negative energies, it creates a much lighter releasing feeling. So tonight, I would like to do a few ceremonies. The first one is we will go to a meditative place together and call someone. You can call someone in your life, anyone you want. It can be a sibling, a partner, a coworker, a friend, anyone you want. And you bring them to your mind with you and do the cord cutting ceremony. So that way you'll sort of get the feeling of it. And then whomever you called will be released. They're free to stick around and hang out or go away, depending on what is your desire and, you know, what works for you and what feels right for you at that moment. And then we will call your daily life these days. These days, all of us have a lot of energy connected to our daily lives. You know, this quarantine, the politics, you know, the way it's our trying to work, however we're doing that, our daily lives, we will call our daily lives ahead to us. And then let's call our nation to us. Let's give ourselves a chance to release the effect of what the politics has been doing to each of us. I don't care what you believe. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, you know, pro-Trump, pro-Biden, pro-Green Party, pro-whatever. The one thing we all have in common is this is a lot. It's exhausting and it's frightening. So let's give ourselves a little bit of a break. Oh, excuse me. Politics make me choke in my throat, right? And then at the end, we will call upon ourselves, ask ourselves to come forward and see whatever is interrupting our abilities to just love ourselves and do a cord cutting from like ourselves to ourselves. You may feel very much like that's a self-image vision that comes forward, or a heart-based image, like it's all about, am I lovable, or am I intelligent enough, or whatever comes forward will be connected with whatever is ready for you to acknowledge and heal, so that you may go, you know, further forward on your step to being an empowered person filled with love. So that's a lot. In a moment, we'll start our spirit journey, our guided meditation. I will take you on a personal journey to a place called the Bardo. The Bardo, also called the Twilight Realm. It is a place that appears in every culture and every mythology through time on our planet. It is a place between dimensions, between realities, between physical and non-physical. It is a place where all things connect, everything connects, but nothing stays, nothing lives there. And when you go to the Bardo, to the Twilight Realm, in this land between dimensions, whomever you call to you is contractually obligated to arrive and present themselves to you. They are not allowed to resist. If you call a friend to you or a family member, their soul self will come to you. And later, if you go and talk with that person may not be aware of what happened, but they will feel the effects of it. One time years ago, we were having a family reunion for a week, a whole week. And for my family, that is not like preferred. We all love each other, but all of us together for a week, that's a lot. So right before we did that, I did a cord cutting ceremony. I got into a very meditative state, went into the bardo, and I called my entire family to me. And I cut between myself and each one. I called them to me one at a time and did the cutting. And each cutting was a unique experience. And then I cut all of us and, cleansed all of the bonds. I cord cleansed for all of us. And then they all joined in, which I wasn't expecting. And they all were cord cutting all around all of us. Everyone cord cut everyone. And I just felt so good afterwards. And then the next day I saw my family, and all of us got along so well, so well. We had the best time. And there were no sibling arguments, no nothing. I mean, it was great. We got along so well. We were like, no triggers, it was just beautiful. And that cord cutting ceremony lasted for like 3 months before the petty bickering came back. And so I did another cord cutting ceremony. And again, for like another 4 or 5 months, everything was great. And then the petty bickering came back. So I'm like, you know what? They're on their own. I'm not going to keep cord cutting us. But it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. I told my family what I did and they teased me, but they didn't fight it. They're like, well, that makes sense actually. But they did tease me and I wasn't triggered by it. So there you go. Cord cutting. Cord cutting for self, for home, for family, for those you love, for our nation, for our planet. It's the same for each one. It doesn't matter which you choose, it's the same. But it's what your heart is ready to connect with. So when we're doing the cord cutting, if I tell you to call forward a specific situation or person, and you don't feel comfortable with that, you're like, I don't want to do this. Don't worry about what I say. Call forward whomever you want. If you have a specific person you want to, or you can say, what do I need? What needs to come forward for me? And you will be amazed what will come forward. One time I did a cord cutting and I said, I don't know what I'm cutting. I was a shaman friend was doing the ceremony and invited me along. And I was like, okay. But I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm not really sure what to cut. So I just called forward. And what came forward was self-sabotage. I was like, oh, okay. But it was the right thing to come forward. And it had a very good effect. Sometimes it's a fine line between being a humble person and sabotaging yourself. So that was the lesson that I learned. Sorry, I got my hair cut yesterday. And so there's all these little, it doesn't know what to do itself. So it keeps tickling my face. But it's a fine line between being humble and preventing yourself from shining your brightest. That was the lesson that I learned without even knowing that that was the lesson that I most needed to learn on that day and a few times after. Okay.